Spider-Man Far From Home tried it really hard to sell us the story that the Master of Illusion Mysterio is dead in the MCU, and it was the last time that we were seeing this Sinister Six member on the big screen. And it might have actually turned out to be the case, but not because of Mysterio's death, but rather because of Sony and Disney's fallout over the Spider-Man deal. But thanks to Tom Holland, Spider-Man is back in the MCU, and he will get to complete his trilogy, and then have a chance to appear in one more MCU movie before Disney starts considering the next deal. So now that we have a Spider-Man 3 release date on the schedule, as it is all set to hit theaters in July 2021, we can finally talk about Mysterio and his epic return in what might be a Sherlock-like comeback. We are going to talk about various cast members, including Jake himself, has hinted towards his return, and how from the story and character point of view, that makes total sense. And probably that's the way it's actually gonna happen. So to put it in other words, Mysterio is far from dead.
I don't think you know what's real, Peter.
But some people are really considering that Mysterio is actually dead, and that's end of the character in the MCU. Well, if you are one of those people, then haven't you learned anything from the movie itself? From the very beginning, Far From Home sets up something only for us to be shocked by the fact that how wrong we had been in our suppositions. Be it Nick Fury and Maria Hill being actually Skrulls, to Elementals being a multiversal threat. And then there's Mysterio, whose entire character arc has been about deception and manipulating the narrative. And I guess if anything, you might be convinced about the fact that Mysterio is one of the best, if not the best, illusionist out there, who can make the world believe in anything. So if somebody is that good, then what's the one of the most impressive things that they can make others falsely believe in? Yeah, it's own death. That's like the KO move for any mass manipulator out there. Heck, even Batman faked his own death in The Dark Knight Rises, but for a slightly different reason. So if you're wondering, how can I be so sure that Mysterio is not actually dead? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's Mysterio. And there's also that post-credit scene. Plus, if you watch the death of Mysterio closely, you can see it for yourself. We never see Mysterio being hurt by any weapon. The one that got hurt was his illusion. We don't see any wounds whatsoever, and the list goes on. But now you can say Spider-Man asked Edith if that was real. Yeah, he did ask, but to that all Edith replied was with the fact that all the illusions were down, and the man that he saw before himself was in fact Mysterio, the real Mysterio himself. But she never said that he was actually dead, and Spider-Man is no expert doctor, and he never even wanted Mysterio to be dead in the first place, because that's not Spider-Man's character. He doesn't go around killing people. So it would be last of his concern to make really sure that Mysterio was dead. So that brings us to how Mysterio actually faked his death. But all this reminds me of Sherlock Season 3 all over again. And as we found out in Season 3, that how Sherlock actually did it didn't really matter that much. And all that was of importance was the fact that he had his one trick up his sleeve. And I'm sure that Marvel won't go the Sherlock way and will in fact show us what Mysterio really did. But that's all technicality and depends on how clever the writers wanna be. The third reason that I'm sure Mysterio will come back is that when the cast of the movie was asked about his death, most of them acted like yeah, he will be back, but I can't really say that, if you know what I mean. Jake has been very cagey about this question, and if you see his reaction while answering these questions, then you can tell yourself that we haven't seen the last of Mysterio. Which brings us to the question, what's really gonna happen in Spider-Man 3 and why Mysterio must appear in it from a story point of view. One thing that we know for sure is that Spider-Man 3 will try to wrap up the trilogy and bring to a close all the open loops. And the biggest one of them is currently the Spider-Man's identity and the severe criminal charges leveled against him. So given this premise, we can expect a courtroom drama, and the fact that She-Hulk is being reported to appear in this movie as Peter Parker's lawyer makes this argument even more compelling. So in fact, we will see Peter on trial, and the charges against him are that of attacking London and killing Mysterio. Just to make it clear, being a Spider-Man is not a crime, it's the things related to Mysterio that Peter is being accused of. So when you think about it, from a writer's point of view, what's the best way to get Peter out of this? Well, expose the mysterious truth, duh. And what's the best way to do that? Yeah, you guessed it right, expose the truth that he's actually alive. And as we discussed, that makes sense even from Mysterio's character point of view, as it would fit nicely that the Master of Illusion was in fact able to fake his own death. What's further exciting about this courtroom premise is the fact that we might see other characters that we didn't get to see in Far From Home, like the villain Vulture, since he was one of the very first people who knew Peter's secret. So I think Marvel will somehow try to incorporate him in this movie, but that's just a guess at this point. And with that, we'll bring this video to an end. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you really think Mysterio is dead? And if yes, why? Once again, thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe for more upcoming content.